Hi, welcome to this Corbettmaths video. In this video, we're going to look at the video solutions to the money greatest number practice questions. So in this video, we're going to look at the video solutions to the practice questions. If you need any extra help on tackling those greatest number questions, if you go down to video number 400Q on corbettmaths.com/contents, there's a video tutorial there on finding the greatest number of an item you can buy for a certain amount of money. But in this video, we're going to look at the video solutions to the practice questions, so let's get started. So question number one. Question number one says a shop sells pencils for 40p each. Work out the greatest number of pencils that can be bought for £3. Now, there's two different ways that I'm thinking of approaching this question. One approach is by considering the 40p and writing down the multiples of 40p. So one pencil would cost 40p, two pencils would cost 80p, adding another 40. Adding another 40 would be £1.20 or 120p. Adding another 40, 160. Adding another 40, 200. Adding another 40, 240. Adding another 40, 280. And if we added another 40, it would be 320 or £3.20, which we don't have. We've only got £3. So how many pencils can be bought for £3? That would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the answer would be 7. Alternatively, we could use the bus shelter method and do 300 divided by 40. And to do that, we would do 300 divided by 40, like so. So we start off by saying how many 40s go into 3? 0, remainder of 3. How many 40s go into 30? 0, remainder of 30. And then we're left with how many 40s go into 300, and then you'd write down the multiples of 40 and it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there'd be 7. And we'd have a remainder of 20 because 300 take away the 280 would be equal to 20. So we've got 7, remainder 20. So the greatest number of 40p pencils that can be bought for £3 would be 7. Okay, let's have a look at our next question, question number 2. Okay, let's have a look at question number 2. So question number 2 says a football costs £7.50. Work out the greatest number of footballs that can be bought for £40. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just start off with £7.50 and I'm going to keep on adding £7.50s and see how many we can buy. So if we buy one football, it's £7.50. If we were to buy another football, we'd add another £7.50. Now you could use the column method here, but I'm just going to add £7 and then add 50p. So adding £7 would be £14.50. Adding the 50p would be £15. So two footballs would cost £15, and that's quite useful to know because if two footballs cost £15, four footballs would cost £30, six footballs would cost £45, and so on. So that's quite useful to know that two of them cost £15, and that's quite a nice number. Okay, adding another £7.50. Well, adding £7 would be £22, and then adding the 50 would be £22.50. So three footballs would cost £22.50. Now we know the next one's going to be £30. Well, let's just check. Adding £7 would be £29.50. Adding the 50p would be £30. Adding another £7.50 would be £37.50. Now, we want to see how many footballs we can buy for £40. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them would cost £37.50. We haven't got enough money to buy the next football because if we added another £7.50, that would be £45, and we haven't got enough money to buy that one. So we can buy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 footballs. So the greatest number of footballs that cost £7.50 that can be bought for £40 would be 5. And if you were asked how much change you would have, you'd have £2.50 change. Okay, let's have a look at our next question. Okay, let's have a look at question number 3. So question number 3 says, Florence has got £5 to spend on rulers and each ruler costs 80p. And she buys as many rulers as she can. Work out how much money Florence will have left or her change. So each ruler costs 80p. So one ruler would cost 80p. Another ruler would cost, well, if we add another 80, would be £1.60 or 160 pence. If we add another 80p, that would be 240 pence. If we add another 80p, that would be 320 pence. If we add another 80p, that would be 400 pence or £4. If we add another 80p, that would be 480p or £4.80. Now she's only got £5, so she hasn't got enough money for another ruler. And here, what we've got here is we've got the multiples of 80. Or another way we could have done that is we could have said, well, the multiples of 8 are 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, and so on. And we can just put zeros on the end, and that would be the multiples of 80. So one ruler would cost 80p, two would cost £1.60, and so on. How many rulers can she buy? Well, she can buy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rulers. So Florence could go into the shop and buy 6 80p rulers. But the question says work out how much money Florence will have left. So she had £5, which is 500 pence, and she spends £4.80. So we're going to do 500, take away 480, and that's equal to 20. So that means that Florence would have 20p left over. And that's it. So work out how much money Florence will have left. The answer would be 20p. And that's it. Okay, let's have a look at question number 4. So question number 4 says a packet of noodles costs £1.40 and Matt has £20 to spend. Work out the greatest number of packets of noodles that Matt can buy. So he's got £20, so he's got £20, and we're going to divide that by how much a packet of noodles costs, and that's £1.40. So we're going to divide by 1.4 or 1.40. Okay, so let's do 20 divided by 1.40 or 1.4, and the answer is equal to 14.285714, and so on. So that means that Matt can buy 14 and a bit packets of noodles. Now, he can't obviously go into the shop and ask for, can I have 0.285714 and so on of a packet of noodles. So Matt can buy 14 packets of noodles and he'd have a little bit of change. So work out the greatest number of packets of noodles that Matt can buy. The answer would be 14. Okay, let's have a look at our next question, question number 5. So question number 5 says, a school can buy chairs for £24.79 each, and they've got £1,600 to spend on chairs. Work out the greatest number of chairs that can be bought. So it's a calculated question, so we just need to divide how much money they have by the cost of one of the items. So let's take our £1,600 and divide it by £24.79. And when we do that, we get 1,600 divided by 24.79, and the answer would be, so that's equal to 64.54215409, and so on. So that means that they can buy 64 chairs, and they haven't quite got enough money for the 65th chair. So work out the greatest number of chairs that can be bought. The answer would be 64. And then the next question says, work out how much money would be left. Well, let's find the cost of 64 chairs. So let's take our £24.79 and multiply by 64 and see how much that would cost for those chairs. So £24.79 multiplied by 64 is equal to £1,586.56. Now, they had 1,600 to spend, so if we take that away from it, we can then see how much money is left. So £1,586.56, and if we take that away, we would get, that's equal to £13.44. So that means if the school bought 64 chairs, they would have £13.44 left over. So that's the answer, £13.44. Okay, let's have a look at our next question. So question number 6. Question number 6 says, Orla buys some hairbands with her pocket money, and she buys as many hairbands as she can, and each hairband costs £3. Orla receives 8 hairbands and £1 change. How much pocket money did Orla have to start with? So this question is a bit different. Instead of being asked how many hairbands can she buy or how much change would she get, we've been asked how much money did she have to start with. So she buys 8 hairbands, so that's 8 hairbands, and they cost £3 each. So if we do 8 times 3, that will tell us the cost of those 8 hairbands. And 8 times 3 is equal to 24. So that means the hairbands cost £24. So that means that she spends £24 on the hairbands, and she gets £1 change. So that means if we add our £1 onto our £24, that would tell us how much money she had to start with. So £24, the cost of the hairbands, plus the change is then how much money she had to start with. And 24 plus 1 is 25. So that means that Orla had £25 to start with. And that's it. Okay, let's have a look at our next question, question number 7. Okay, let's have a look at question number 7. So question number 7 says, a garden centre has a promotion on flower pots, and it's buy one, get one free. And Jemima has £80 to spend on flower pots, and each flower pot costs £3.50. Work out the maximum number of flower pots that Jemima can buy. So if we see how many lots of £3.50 go into £80, then Jemima can buy that many, and then she would get the same number free. And then that would tell us how many flower pots she can receive. So we need to see how many lots of £3.50 go into £80. Now I know that 10 lots of £3.50 would be equal to £35. And if we double that by 20 lots of £3.50, or spend 20 lots of £3.50, that would be double £35, which would be £70. And we want to find out how many lots of £3.50 go into 80, so let's keep going. So 21 lots of £3.50, well, that'll be another lot of £3.50, so that'll be equal to £73.50. And if we were to do another lot of £3.50, that would be equal to, adding on £3 would be equal to £76.50, and adding on the 50p would be £77. So that means that 22 lots of £3.50 is equal to £77. So she can buy those. She could buy 22 flower pots and get 22 free. But if she was to try and buy one more, well, there'll be another lot of £3.50. So if we added on another £3.50, well, adding on £3 would be £80, and adding on the 50p would be £80.50p. Well, she hasn't got enough money for that. So that means that Jemima can buy 22 flower pots at £3.50 and then get another 22 free. So she could buy 22 and then get another 22 free. So the maximum number of flower pots that Jemima can buy using this promotion would be 44. And that's it. Okay, let's have a look at our next question, question number 8. So question number 8 says, Miss Kelly has £290 to spend on calculators and protractors. And calculators cost £12.50 each, and protractors cost £1.49 for 5. And Miss Kelly plans to buy as many calculators as possible, and then with her change, she plans to buy as many protractors as possible. Work out how many calculators and protractors Miss Kelly buys. So first of all, she buys as many calculators as possible. So let's take the £290 and let's divide that by £12.65 and see how many calculators Miss Kelly can buy. So if we do £290 divided by £12.65, the answer is equal to 22.9249 and so on. So that means she can buy 22 calculators and she hasn't got enough money for the 23rd one. So let's write that down. She can buy 22 calculators. Now, she buys 22 calculators and then with her change she buys as many protractors as possible, so we need to find her change. So let's find the cost of the 22 calculators. So 22 calculators multiplied by, well, 22 multiplied by £12.65, so £12.65 is equal to, so £12.65 multiplied by 22 is equal to £278.30p. So the cost of those 22 calculators would be £278.30p. And we want to find her change, so we're going to take that away from the money she started with, which was £290. So 290 take away £278.30p. And let's see what we get. So 290 take away, our answer is equal to £11.70. £11.70. So that's how much change she has. Now she buys as many protractors as possible. And for 5, it costs £1.49. So if we see how many lots of £1.49 going to £11.70, that would tell us how many lots of the 5 protractors she could get. So let's take the £11.70 and divide it by £1.49 and see what we get. So £11.70 divided by £1.49 is equal to 7.8523 and so on. So that means she can buy 7 packs of the 5 protractors and she hasn't got enough money for the 8th pack. And the question says how many protractors she buys. So it's 7 lots of the 5 pack of protractors because it's 5 protractors for £1.49. So it's 7 lots of 5 protractors. So it's going to be 7 multiplied by 5 is equal to 35. Isn't it? So that's 35 protractors. So she can buy 22 calculators and 35 protractors. And that's it. Okay, let's have a look at our next question. Okay, let's have a look at question number 9. So question number 9 says a youth club has raised £800 to spend on tickets for the zoo, and an adult ticket costs £14 and a child ticket costs £11. And they've also got a voucher that gives them 20% off the ticket prices. And the youth club buy 6 adult tickets and as many child tickets as possible. How many child tickets do they buy? So first of all, the youth club have got this voucher that gives them 20% off all the ticket prices. So let's reduce the prices by 20% to start off with. So let's start off with the adult ticket. It's £14. So the adult ticket is £14. Now this is a calculator question, so we can kind of take off £14 and I'm going to divide it by 100 to find 1%. So £14 divided by 100 is equal to 0.14 pounds or 14 pence. That's 1%. I'm now going to times that by 20. So 0.14 multiplied by 20 is equal to 2.8 or £2.80. So that's the discount they get, so we just need to take that away from the £14. So 14 take away £2.80 is equal to £11.20. So that means the price of an adult ticket is now £11.20. Whenever we reduce the price by 20%, it's £11.20. And we've done that by taking the price, which was £14, we divided by 100 to find 1%, we times it by 20 to find 20%, and then we took that away. Another way we could have done it is just to multiply this amount by the multiplier, which would be 0.8. And if you need to revise multipliers, it's a Corbettmaths video on multipliers, and they're really useful as well. Okay, let's consider the child ticket. So the child ticket, so child. The child ticket costs £11 normally, so let's take the £11 and we want to reduce it by 20%, so let's divide it by 100 to find a 1%, so that'll be 0.11, and then we're going to take that 11p or 0.11 pounds and we're going to multiply it by 20, and that's equal to £2.20. So for each child ticket they're going to be saving £2.20 because 20% of £11 is £2.20. So let's take our £11 and take away £2.20 and see what price the child tickets will now be. So £11 take away £2.20 is equal to £8.80. So that means that for this youth club, each adult ticket will be £11.20 and each child ticket will be £8.80. Now the question says they bought 6 adult tickets. So let's multiply this by 6, the price of the adult ticket by 6, to find out how much money they spent on adult tickets. So 6 multiplied by £11.20. And 6 multiplied by £11.20 would be equal to £67.20. So that means that the Youth Club spent £67.20 on adult tickets. And we're told the Youth Club buy 6 adult tickets, which cost £67.20, and they buy as many child tickets as possible, and they've got £800. So if we take away the price of the adult tickets, the £67.20 away from 800, what's left is what they spend on child tickets, and then we can see how many child tickets they can buy. So let's take our £800 and subtract £67.20 and see what we get. And that's equal to £732.80. So that's how much money the Youth Club have got to spend on child tickets. So we now just need to see how many lots of £8.80 go into that. So let's take our £732.80 and divide it by £8.80 and see what we get. We divide that by £8.80 and that's equal to 83.272727 and so on. So they don't quite have enough money for the 84th child ticket, but they can buy 83 child tickets. And the question says, how many child tickets can they buy? And the answer would be 83. Okay, let's have a look at our next question. Okay, question number 10. A packet of biscuits costs £1.80 and Jessica uses £10 to buy as many packets of biscuits as possible. How many packets of biscuits does Jessica buy? So it's a calculator question, so let's take the £10 and divide it by £1.80. And that would tell us how many packets she can buy. So £10 divided by £1.80 is equal to 5.5555 and so on. Now, she hasn't got enough money for the 6th packet of biscuits, so she can buy 5 packets of biscuits. So that's how many she can buy. And then if we have a look at the next part, it says next week Jessica visits a different shop and they sell the biscuits for half the price. So she should have went to that shop in the first place. And they sell the biscuits for half the price. So Jessica says, I can buy exactly twice as many packets of biscuits for £10. So that means that Jessica thinks she can buy twice as many packets because the price is half the price. So last week she could buy 5 packets. So Jessica thinks she can now buy 10 packets, but exactly twice the number of packets because they're half the price. So she thinks she can buy 10 packets because they're half the price of what they were last week. But we've been asked to show that Jessica's incorrect. So let's see how many packets of biscuits she can buy. So she's got £10 and last week they cost £1.80 and this week they're half the price. That means that they're 90p. So we're going to divide it by 90p or 0.90. Okay, 90p. So if we take our £10, so £10, and we divide it by 0.90 or 0.9, we get that's equal to 11.1111 and so on packets of biscuits. So it means that Jessica can buy 11 and a bit packets of biscuits. Now she hasn't got enough money for the 12th packet biscuits, so she can buy 11 packets of biscuits. Let's have a look. Last week Jessica could buy 5 packets of biscuits, but this week whenever they're half the price she can buy 11 packets of biscuits. So it's not exactly twice the number of packets of biscuits. So let's write that down. So I've just written down Jessica can buy 11 packets, which is more than twice the number of packets last week, and I've just written down that 5 times 2 is equal to 10. That would be exactly twice the number, and 11 is greater than 10. And that's it. Okay, let's have a look at our next question. So question number 11. So question number 11 says, Laura's going on holiday to New York and she wants to change some money into US dollars. And the post office only stocks $50 notes. Laura wants to change up to £800 into US dollars. So she wants to change up to £800. So she's got £800 that she wants to change into dollars. And she wants as many $50 notes or $50 bills as possible. The exchange rate is £1 is equal to $1.24. How many $50 notes or bills should Laura receive? So in this question, she wants to change as much money into US dollars as possible, and she's got up to £800 to change. Let's see if we change that £800 into dollars. Let's see how much that would be worth. So each pound is $1.24. So if we do 800 lots of $1.24, that would change the £800 into dollars. So let's do 800 multiplied by 1.24, and let's see what we get. And whenever we do that, we get that's equal to $992. So that means if Laura could change all her money into dollars, she would receive $992. But in this post office, they only stock $50 notes. So that means they've only got $50 there. They don't have $10 notes or bills. Do they call bills in America? They don't have $10 bills or $5 bills or $1 bills or notes. They've only got $50 notes. So that means you can only receive $50. So that means that the amount of money they give her will have to be a multiple of 50. They could give her $50. They could give her $100. They could give her $150, $200, and so on, $250, $300, and so on. Now, if she could receive up to $992, she hasn't got enough for $1,000, but she could receive $950. That's how much money she could receive in this post office. And what we've been asked to find is how many $50 notes could she get. So that's how much money she could receive. Let's see how many $50 notes or bills that would be. So if we divide how much money she could receive, the 950, by 50, that would tell us how many notes she would receive. So 950 divided by 50 is equal to 19. So that means that if she went into this post office, she could say, I want to change £800 into dollars. That would be the most amount of money she could receive is $992. The post office would say, well, we can't do that. We can only give you up to $950. And then they would count out those bills, 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, and so on. And that would be 19 of those $50 bills. And that's how many she could receive. How many $50 notes could she receive? The answer would be 19. Okay, let's have a look at our last question, question number 12. Two shops have got a special offer on the same type of candle. We've got shop A, which normally costs £3.60 for each of the candles, and they're offering 25% off all candles. And shop B, the normal price is a bit more expensive, it's £3.80, but in this shop you can buy two and get one free. So for every time you buy two candles, they will give you one free. And Tom's got £50 to spend on candles. Work out the greatest number of candles that Tom can buy. So in this question, first of all, let's start off with shop A. So shop A. And let's see how many candles Tom can buy in shop A. Now they're offering 25% off all candles, so let's reduce the price by 25%. So let's find 25% and take it away. Now to find 25% of a number, you just divide by 4. So if we take our £3.60 and divide it by 4, that will tell us 25% of it. So £3.60 divided by 4 is equal to 90p, or 0.90. That means that Tom will be saving 90p in each candle. So let's take our £3.60 and let's take away that 25%, so let's take away that 90p, and that will be the price of each candle. So £3.60 take away 90p is equal to £2.70. So that means that each candle costs £2.70 in this sale in shop A. And he's got £50, so let's take the £50 and divide it by £2.70, and let's see how many candles Tom can buy. So £50 divided by £2.70 is equal to 18.518518, and so on. So how many candles can he buy? He hasn't got enough money for the 19th. He can buy 18 candles. So he can buy 18 candles in shop A. Okay, now let's consider shop B. So shop B, the normal price of the candles is £3.80 each, and they've got a promotion. It's buy two, get one free. So let's see how many candles he can buy at the normal price. So let's take the £50, and let's take £50 and let's divide it by £3.80, and that would tell us how many candles Tom can buy normally, and then we'll work out how many free candles he'll receive. So if we take £50 and divide it by £3.80, that's equal to 13.15789, and so on. So that means that Tom's got enough money, if he was to buy the candles at the normal price, to buy 13 candles. So he can buy 13 candles. But at the minute, they've got a promotion, and it's buy two, get one free. Now, unfortunately, 13 is not an even number. If it was an even number, that'd be fantastic. For instance, if he could buy 14 candles, that'd be great, because if he could buy 14, he would get 7 free. But at the minute, he's only enough money to buy 13 candles. So if he was to buy 12 candles, so if Tom bought 12 candles, so if he buys 12 candles, he would receive 6 free, because every time he buys 2, he gets 1 free. So if he buys 12, he gets 6 free. So that means that Tom could buy 12 candles and get 6 free. But he did have enough money to buy 13 candles. So he does have enough money to buy one more. So he could buy one more candle with the money he's got left over. So that means he can buy 12 and get 6 free, and then he can buy one more candle. And 12 plus 6 is equal to 18, plus 1 is 19. And that means he can buy 19 candles in shop B. And the question says work out the greatest number of candles that Tom can buy, and the answer would be 19. Now there is another way to approach that question for shop B. What we could have done is work out the cost of 2 candles, seen how many lots of those go into £50, and find out how many lots of the offer he could receive. But then you would just need to check, would he have enough change to buy one more candle, and he would, and that means he would be able to buy 19 candles. And that's it. So these have been the video solutions to the greatest number of practice questions. I really hope you found them useful. If you need any extra help, you can go to video number 400Q on Corbettmaths, and that will be the video tutorial there on how to approach this topic. But I hope you found these video solutions useful. If you have found them useful, please like it and please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thank you. Cheers. Bye.